For this example, I'll create a purchase agreement. Purchase agreements are found in the Procurement and Sourcing module, underneath Common, and then in the Purchase Orders area, you'll open the Purchase Agreements form. The Purchase Agreements form has a similar look and feel as the purchase order. However, there are several differences. Let's go ahead and create a new purchase agreement by clicking the New Purchase Agreement button. This will open the Purchase Agreements form. The first difference is that purchase agreements will always open in the header view, and you must manually switch to the line view. We'll select the vendor account that we want to make this agreement for. You can optionally select a contact person if a contact person has been added to the vendor account. This particular vendor doesn't have any contacts. In the next field, you can type in a vendor reference. This is typically the vendor's number for the agreement. In the bottom section, you can specify the validity period. By default, the effective date will always use today's date. I'm going to make this agreement effective on the 1st of next month and make it go through the 1st of next month in the following year. On the right-hand side, you'll notice that the status of my agreement is currently on hold. This means that the agreement cannot be used on a purchase order. I'll leave it like this until I'm ready to start using the agreement. You can also type in a title. So if this is the 2015 box agreement, you can type in a title or description. You can also type in an external document reference, which might be like a file location where the detailed contract terms are being stored. In the default commitment type field, you'll select which commitment type you want to use by default. This is set to product quantity commitment, but here you can see the other options that we just discussed. Next, in the purchase agreement classification field, you'll need to select which classification. I'm going to say this is a general purchase. If your agreement is related to a specific project, you can select that project in the Project ID field. Additional fields are available on the Delivery Address tab to override the delivery information. The Terms tab includes all of the financial terms of payment, the delivery terms, and any administration and transportation information. When you specify the information here, the values can be carried through to the purchase orders when you create a new PO from this agreement. The last tab includes financial dimensions. You may want to use specific financial dimensions for a particular purchase agreement. Now that we're done entering all the details into the header of our purchase agreement, we'll switch to the line view where we can start to add the lines. Here, in the Purchase Agreement Lines Fast tab, we'll use the Add Line button to add an item. It's important to note that the agreement commitment type that you selected will control the fields and entry that is available in the Purchase Agreement lines. If you expand that Purchase Agreement Header tab, you'll notice I'm using the default commitment type of product quantity. So, I need to select a specific item number. I'll select the T-shirt. If required, I can select a category. I'll enter the site and warehouse that this agreement is for and type in the quantity. Let's say we're agreeing to purchase 50,000 of this particular item over the next year. You'll notice that I cannot update the net amount field. However, if you scroll to the right, you can update the discount percent and/or unit price fields. So, let's say the contract terms say that by purchasing 50,000 of this particular item, we'll be given a new price of $14.99 and a discount of 2%. You can type that information and AX will extend and multiply the amounts to create the net amount for you. You'll also notice the expiration date on each line. You can override this expiration date value for each line of your commitment. If you go down to the Line Details Fast tab, there are some additional parameters that allow you to more closely control how this commitment and contract will work. The first thing is the Max is Enforced checkbox. When this checkbox is selected, It indicates that the maximum amount of quantity that we've specified here will be enforced. In other words, the discount will only be applied up to the maximum of $50,000. You can also specify a release amount, minimum and maximum. By giving a commitment line a minimum and maximum release amount, you're basically saying that you must release at least 1,000 of this particular item for this agreement to apply. If a maximum is applied, such as 5,000, then if an order is placed for more than 5,000, the discount terms of the agreement will not be applied. If you go to the Price and Discount tab, you can see the basic information. You'll also notice that you can override the cash discount amount. There's a checkbox here as well to mark and indicate that the price and discount is fixed. If this checkbox is selected, it indicates that on the purchase or sales order that's created, you will not be allowed to override the values. The Fulfillment tab allows you to track the progress of your agreement. In this case, we've just created it so the whole entire amount is remaining. As we start releasing this purchase agreement, the released, received, and invoice columns will be updated appropriately. If the agreement's related to a project, you can see the detailed project information here on the line details. You can also override the financial dimensions of each individual line and the product dimensions. This might be useful, for example, if additional dimensions such as size, color, and style are required for your item. When you're done creating your agreement and adding all the lines, the next step is to confirm the agreement. This will generate a document that you can send to your vendor to confirm the agreement. When you click the Confirm Purchase Agreement button, it will open a new dialog. You'll notice that the Mark Agreement as Effective checkbox is automatically selected. This will automatically take the agreement off of hold. If you do not want the agreement to be removed from the hold until the vendor replies with their confirmation, you can clear this checkbox. There's also an option to print the report. For my example, we're just going to post the agreement and mark it as effective. If you do not mark the agreement as effective when you confirm it, you can still manually update it by using the status field on the Purchase Agreement Header Fast tab. You'll notice though, if we refresh the screen, the status here is now effective. If you ever need to reprint your purchase agreement confirmation, you can do that by clicking on the Purchase Agreement Confirmations button in the Related Information group. Now that my purchase agreement is completed and confirmed, and the status is set to effective, we can start using it to release it to a purchase order. This can be done directly from the purchase agreements form by clicking Release Order, or by creating a new purchase order and manually linking it to this agreement. I'll show you both ways of doing this. So for this example, I'll show you the Release Order button. It will open up a new screen where you can see the item number, and we can type in the quantity that we want to purchase. I'll type in 1,500 and then click Create. You'll notice that a new purchase order has been created. In this particular case, it's purchase order number 52. If you highlight this line in the info log, you can click the Show button, which will open the purchase order form directly to this particular purchase order. You can also use the Release Order Lines button in the Related Information group to see the purchase order lines that have been released. Next, I'll show you how to manually create a purchase order and link it to a purchase agreement. I'll do this from Procurement and Sourcing by opening the All Purchase Orders form, creating a new purchase order. Make sure to select the correct vendor, and then down on the Administration tab, rather the General tab, you'll see a Purchase Agreement ID field. Here, you'll be able to select the purchase agreement for the vendor. Now that you've seen how to manually link a purchase agreement to a purchase order and to release a purchase agreement. Let's move on.